very warm welcome to viewers clicking into this, our third broadcast of I'll Ask and Answer, a video Q&A series brought to you jointly as a public service and especially for our business community by the Isle of Wight Chamber of Commerce and Isle of Wight Economic Development. I'm Chris Morello, Director of Economic Development, and hosting me, and I also have to add the creative genius behind that excellent new logo for this series, is Jessica Healy, President of the Chamber of Commerce. Good afternoon, Jessica.
Hey, Chris. Thanks so much for having me again. And I have to give Christy in your office a little shout out for the logo too, because she was a big part in bringing it all together with the colors and the styles and whatnot. So yeah, that was fun. I think I'll ask and answer is here to stay. So we wanted to solidify that with a cool fancy logo.
Right.
All right, so we're going to jump right in today. For those of you who are watching for the very first time, we have two guest speakers with us. Jim Carroll, he is Executive Director with the Small Business Development Center in Hampton Roads. He has been with us a third time now, so I think you're a staple here in our little show as well, Jim. And we also have Joey Barnes, who is here with us for the first time. Joey is Senior Vice President with Virginia Community Capital, and he has been with VCC for about 8 months, and prior to that owned his own commercial loan consulting firm for about 4 years, and overall has about 20 plus years in the banking experience, mostly in the business banking and commercial lending arena. So welcome, Joey, for the first time. Glad to have you.
Thank you very much for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're going to jump right in. First and foremost, thank y'all for taking the time, especially today as the PPP program has relaunched itself this morning. So I know it's probably been a little hectic for you guys and all of us. So for our viewers, would you mind just taking just a few moments each to give our audience a brief overview of your organization, what your role is, how you guys are working together to serve the business community? And either of you can go first.
Joey, I'll defer to you.
Okay, great. Thank you, Jim. Virginia Community Capital is a community development financial institution, and our mission is to create jobs, energize places, and promote enhanced quality of life in Virginia. We'd like to be your first choice in innovative capital and collaborative thinking. As a CDFI, we're kind of unique in that we're a nonprofit, but we also are owned by a bank. And what that allows us to do is, in addition to building sustainable communities and creating jobs through development ventures, we also are able to provide traditional loans, such as SBA loans for clients. My role there prior to COVID-19 was business development in the Hampton Roads market. Since COVID-19, our focus has really been helping clients with the payment protection program, answering questions, and providing loans so that we can have employers rehire staff and really kind of keep the economy moving as we work our way through this pandemic. Jim?
Yes, well, good afternoon, everybody, and thank you for having me back again. The SBDC, or the Small Business Development Center, is a nonprofit organization that's hosted by the Hampton Roads Chamber of Commerce and Thomas Nelson Community College. We are part of a statewide network of 29 offices throughout the Commonwealth of Virginia, part of a national network of over 1,000 offices, and our funding comes from the U.S. Small Business Administration, and then that is matched by local non-federal dollars by the localities, chambers of commerce, and financial institutions and the like. Our mission is to provide two things. First and foremost is business information. And then number two is to provide assistance in access to capital. So we partner very closely with the financial institutions around the region, like especially Joey, and we are here to make sure that the client, before they go in to see the bank, puts together the best possible application and defense of his request so that his request will get approved. So.
Thanks, Jim and Joey. I think our viewers are very well clued into congressional action last week having to do with loan programs and federal stimulus in general. So I thought maybe we could basically get your thoughts on and your observations on what's really happening out there, particularly with the Paycheck Protection Program, and to the degree, you know, the EIDL program is not quite live yet. We can discuss that a little bit, and I think it's also important that we try to concentrate on next steps for our business community from both your perspectives. And Joey, start with you, I guess.
Okay, well, we are excited that the second round of PPP funds have been appropriated, and we started this morning with processing those applications. One thing that I'd like to stress for business owners is that you, number one, reach out to your financial institution if you haven't regarding the Payment Protection Program. And number two, when you apply, make sure that you have a complete package. And so, and what I mean by a complete package is whatever documentation your financial institution requests of you, pull all of that information together and get it submitted at one time, because there's such a large volume that's coming in right now that if you have an incomplete package, that may slow the process or move you to the back of the line. Whereas if you have a complete package, that keeps everything moving forward. One thing that I left out in my introduction is that as a CDFI, there was $30 billion was actually set aside for community development financial institutions, and we are participating in that program. And so we're really excited to be able to help business owners. Jim?
Absolutely. With regards to the Paycheck Protection Program, the window is open and the applications are being approved by the SBA. With regards to the non-injury disaster loan, the EIDL program, that has not been funded as of yet. And so consequently, no new applications are being accepted. Now, for anybody who has already submitted an application and they have a receipt with a case number, those packages will be evaluated by the loan officers at the SBA. For those who requested in advance, they too, if they have their case number starting with 3, the number 3, they will be also evaluated by the loan officers. But right now, as our understanding is, if you do not have a number 3 as your first number in your case number, you're not going to get qualified for the advance. As things change, we will get the word out as quickly as possible.
Great, thanks so much, Jim. I'd like to jump into the Paycheck Protection Program just a little bit here. We know that with this new round of funding, there may have been some changes, specifically with sole proprietors and independent contractors, their eligibility, as well as calculating that maximum funds. Could you guys speak on that a little bit?
Sure. On the initial round of PPP, as you said, there was definitely some confusion as to independent contractors and sole proprietors and whether or not they qualified, and if they qualified, how much they qualified for. We were given guidance recently, and when I say we, the financial institutions, on how now to process those and how to calculate it so that we're able to get our clients the most bang for their buck and the largest loan. So my thoughts would be, if you are an independent contractor or a sole proprietor, to please reach out to your financial institution, because with the second round, certainly we want you to apply and get in line to see if you will be approved and able to receive funding through the PPP program.
Absolutely. In the first round, there was some doubt or some questions about whether or not a business who contracted with independent contractors to perform their duties could count them as, quote, employees, or count them in the overall count of number of people working in the business. It was determined later that no, they could not, because independent contractors had the ability to go out as their own business and apply for the Paycheck Protection Program. And so we received this, the banks have received this additional guidance now that basically clears the air so that independent contractors and sole proprietors can get their loan applications in.
Okay, thank you. We've mentioned on this broadcast before that our organizations, Isle of Wight Chamber of Commerce and Economic Development, have created business resources, web pages. I know that you all have resources during this COVID-19 era for businesses, and I'd like to share with viewers. I think I'll start with Virginia Community Capital's webpage. Hopefully this is visible. Joey, this is again www.vacommunitycapital, no punctuation, .org, correct? virginiacommunitycapital.org.
Correct.
Is there anything you'd like to point out about this? It's pretty apparent what kind of resources you have connected with what our subject is today. Anything else that you want viewers to understand and learn that you have available for them?
I think the website pretty much covers it, but I definitely want to say if you're thinking about applying at Virginia Community Capital, that Get Relief Now button will take you directly to, it answers a lot of the questions that you may have regarding PPP, as well as how you apply at Virginia Community Capital. And I spoke a little earlier regarding documentation that we need. Well, you can see that the documentation that we needed is okay. We moved to the application as well as your payroll analysis form, and make sure that you complete the form. One thing, if you can scroll back just a little bit, Chris, one of the questions is, and it's number 7, that sometimes is a stickler for some of our clients, would be all of your employees have permanent residence in the United States of America. A lot of times business owners will go down and just check no, 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 no. And when we start processing the application, that can slow the application down. That's a main one that I see more often than not, that business owners kind of gloss over and sometimes don't get it right.
Gotcha. Great. And of course, Virginia SBDC also has a website. Jim, I'm trying to show that at this point. That's www.virginiasbdc, all spelled out, but no punctuation, .org. You also have a business resources page with just loaded with information for our businesses. Anything you'd like to point out in particular?
No, the state page is very, very thorough. And if you're looking for answers, that is the place to go. As I said, we're in the business of providing access to information and assistance with access to capital. And that's exactly how that page is structured.
Right. Are there any other resources out there beyond the traditional lending institutions, even beyond Virginia Community Capital, that have popped up that folks need or can search for, I guess? For example, Google search of some kind, where perhaps non-traditional folks aren't thinking of as potential resources for them with the Paycheck Protection Plan in particular?
Absolutely. We've been doing some research into it, and there are organizations known as fintechs or financial technology operations. And some of them have been approved by the SBA to participate in the program and participate in the SBA 7A loan program. Others have not. I would recommend just doing a Google search on fintech and then taking a look at the companies that are listed there and see if they are approved or not, and just evaluate every possible resource that's out there. But I do have to say that you really have to go back and talk to the bank or the financial institution with whom you have an existing relationship. It just makes it so much easier. They know you, you know them, and it just makes it a whole lot easier for the lenders, or excuse me, for the borrowers as well as the lenders in processing this paperwork.
Any, I guess, closing thoughts, Jessica, or our guests today? before we wrap?
I just also want to, as I did at the end of our number 2, I want to also remind everyone that Jim does, he's going to be doing a virtual business counseling session for Smithfield, Isle of Wight, Carrollton, Windsor on May 14th between 9 a.m. and 1 p.m. I sent that out in an e-blast, and it's on social media as well. So if anybody is watching this and they would like to schedule that appointment, just email us at chamber@theisle.org, and we will get you scheduled with Jim. We have a few slots available, so he does that every month here with us at the Isle of Wight Chamber, and you know, we're lucky to have you a part of the team over here. So thank you both for being with us today. A lot of information swirling around. It changes sometimes by the hour. So I appreciate, especially today with the relaunch, for you guys taking the time out to be here with us and give that invaluable support and information to our business community.
Yeah. We contacted you on Friday. You said yes to Monday. We can't be more thankful for that and grateful for that. Thank you so much for your time and your valuable words of wisdom for our business community. And that will wrap this session up. And I hope you all have a great rest of your day. Thanks everybody for watching.
Thank you.
Okay.